Hello, hello. Good morning. Happy Monday, July 27th, 2026. I'm Manila Chan. Ted Rall is on his potty break. Producer Robbie in the house, freshly
Howdy.
shorn, I see.
Yep, I was getting shaggy. It was time. It's time for a haircut.
You are tuned in to the Ted Manila Information Show, TMI for short, because we bring you too much information, way too much. A lot of TMI happening in the Rumble chat right now. Just if you guys want to know what I'm talking about, you have to go in there and you'll see. Yeah, we're talking about not bodily fluids, bodily exhaust. Call it exhaust.
Yep, well, I'll be
'Cause
setting
it's
up a time with our science advisor, Mr. Cockefeller, about coming on the show today or sometime this week. It's gonna be fun.
that would be cool
I
to
agree.
talk about full science stuff. You know, we love science. We're science dorks on this show, so
Yeah, we'll
that's
talk about the
no
viruses
shame.
and bacteria and stuff from last Friday's show because he called out Ted
No.
for sharing misinformation.
Oh. Well, I could take some corrections on that. I would like to hear about that topic because not only do we have now like what is it, cyclosporiasis or whatever, the
Yep.
lettuce disease, diarrhea disease, but now there's a salmonella outbreak on eggs.
Mhm.
So, the good old American food system, and always count on that. It'll
Yeah,
help keep you thin.
and yeah, I'll be
Very
called
thin.
xenophobic for pointing this out, but over the weekend I did a lot of research from it. It came from the lettuce. I don't know about the eggs, but the lettuce came from a large corporate farm in Mexico.
Yeah, well, that's what they were saying, but they first said it
Yep.
was Taylor Farms, but now they're saying it's not Taylor Farms. So I've ugh, I've not had I usually love having salads.
Yeah.
Lettuce is kind of a, you know, necessity.
I prefer spinach
So
over salad because of
I like
has
spinach too.
well, spinach just has a lot more iron in it. And
No, I
living up here,
agree.
and living up here in Montana, we don't have a lot of sun. You need vitamin D, you need
Oh,
iron, and so you got to have it. So
well, I've been staying away from any uncooked leafy greens of any sort. It's only like cooked vegetables the last few weeks. So, I don't know. Just
Well,
and now the
they've been
salmonella.
telling everyone don't stay away from salad, but we've all been staying away from salad. Like
I know, like, I'm not
it's
gonna
like you're
risk
kidding, right? Like I'm not doing that.
we have an ad because we're talking about food.
food? Okay, are
Food.
we having a food ad?
We are. Hold on just one second. I'll pop that puppy
See,
right
this
on up.
100%, the algorithm hears what we're talking about, the AI is listening, and then it gives us the ad based on what we're talking about. I thought it was gonna give us, like, a diarrhea medicine.
One could only hope.
No, it's better than that. Listen to this. Today's sponsor is Chicago Steak Company. And if you care about what goes in the grill, this will make sense. Use the code SAVOR, SAVOR, for this summer steak offer. These are not random grocery store steaks. Chicago Steak Company ages select cuts for tenderness, hand cuts them, and ships them out packed cold. So dinner is already a lot closer to steakhouse quality before the grill even lights up. The Savor package includes USDA prime filet mignon, Chicago's best seller, and the ultimate gift assortment. On orders of $179 or more, they add 4 premium boneless petite strip steaks, 6 apple pastries, free shipping, and a 25% or $25 discount after shipment. Good for 6 months. Actually, I screwed that up. Let me redo this. And a $25 account credit. So not a discount, because discounts wouldn't make any sense because you already bought it, but you get a credit towards your next purchase. Good for 6 months. Link is in the description. Use code SAVOR at mychicagosteak.com. Again, SAVOR, SAVOR.
I guess you can eat just meats for, like, what do they call that? The caveman diet or something?
The paleo.
Paleo diet. Yeah,
Yeah,
caveman, whatever. They're eating
It's kind of the same. It's the same thing basically.
just meat.
Well, listen.
But
Although in reality, you wouldn't really want the true cavemen diet, which was basically bugs and rats.
How do we know?
Well, we don't really know, but I mean, we assume that it was really hard to catch big animals. and we look at Aboriginal people in places like Papua New Guinea, and they mainly just subsist, right? Like one of the reasons that, like at the cave paintings at Lascaux, we used to think that this sort of showed like their ordinary life, like, oh look, they're catching, woolly mammoths or buffalo or whatever, and it's like that must happen all the time, and this is how they live. Now it's more like this is more like a statue. Like, remember that one time we did fucking awesome? Let's commemorate that in the cave painting.
Well, if you believe in
Yeah.
evolution, then what we always hear is that early humans hunted these big animals to extinction. And now they're kind of moving the goalpost
Oh, I don't think that's true.
to climate
No.
change, which could not obviously be true because there were no SUVs back then. So which one was it?
No,
I say it was the Great Flood that killed them all.
no, it
So
wasn't like the dodo. Like we do know how the dodo went extinct, and it was because they were so dumb that when the Dutch explorers got there, there was no like known predator to them. So when the Dutch explorers got there, they were like, "Oh, people, I'm gonna go to you," and these guys were like, "Chicken fricassee," and they killed them all. So that's true. They were hunted to extinction. I don't think the cavemen did that though.
We don't know.
I don't know, but I think a lot of people are switching to the more meaty diet, which is not fun for the summer, I think. Like, you don't wanna eat heavy stuff like that during the summer, like, that's
Oh, I do. I don't.
Really?
Are you kidding? Yeah.
Yes.
I don't understand that whole like I'm not hungry in the summer thing. I'm hungry in the summer.
Really?
You need protein. You need protein in the summer.
You need protein all the time.
I do,
You
but I'm
just
doing
gouge that stuff right on down.
I like fish and chicken more in the summer, like a lighter protein rather than like a big hearty steak. Like in the fall and winter, I'm just like loading up on red meat, I guess. Like that's just natural. I have always followed the whole natural follow your body knows what it needs. Just like when there are some kids that like to eat dirt. There are studies on that.
The
where it's 'cause
coprophagia, right? Is what
their
that's called.
bodies are deficient in something, so
Coprophilia.
they're just like eating mud and fucking dirt. But that's like it's your body telling you it needs something. So
Yeah, but don't go out and eat
follow
dirt.
that. Well, no, I wouldn't advise going to eat dirt, but there's a reason that your body does tell you to want to eat dirt.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Well, you just
You
wash
should-
off your
I do
turnips.
believe you should listen to your body.
You just wash off your turnips. There's any dirt there, you're just going to eat that too. It's fine, but no, don't go eat like a mud pie or something. That would be
No. All right. Wait, before we jump to the stories, I'm going to put this up there. So let me see if I can get rid of this thing that's blocking it. How do I get rid of there it is. Okay. So you guys know I like this visual capitalist company that does like all these like cool graphics.
Mhm.
Okay, so let me see. Oh gosh, it's huge. That's what she said. Quality of life. Okay. Look at this number. If you guys can see, 0 to 100. 100 is like the yellow color. 0 is dark purple. And so here's what they did. They surveyed like thousands and thousands of people across like 33 countries. And they asked these people what country they thought perceived to have the best quality of life. The United States,
Like,
ranked
in other words,
the lowest.
So in other words, they might ask someone in Germany about all these countries, including Germany, or I don't understand.
Include like any place in the world. So I'll read.
Like,
you
what do you think of China or whatever?
So they said,
okay.
They said, if you can live anywhere in the world, where would you choose? And the 2026 Best Countries Index from the Wharton School, where Donald Trump went, reveals where people around the world.
He did not go to.
No?
He went to
I thought he went to Wharton.
He went. No, he always says that because he's. But I know I don't want to, like, burst your hymen here, but I think, but like this is a. He lied. He went
to go to Wharton.
He did kind of. Okay, so he spent the last 2 years of his. He only has a bachelor's. Okay, he has a bachelor's from UPenn. He went to Fordham for 2 years, transferred to UPenn as a business major, and got a BA in business. Okay, but when people say they went to Wharton, what they mean is they went to the Wharton School of Business at UPenn. They have a MBA. that's the implication when someone like, oh, they went to Wharton.
Oh.
It's like, it's like, so it's kind of like technically true that the business school at the bachelor's level is also part of the Wharton, it has the Wharton name, but it's not really Wharton.
Oh, I see.
Like
what
in
you're
business,
saying.
you know what I'm
I see what
saying?
you're saying.
He's like
Okay,
intentionally misleading.
Well, the program that he didn't graduate from revealed that people around the world believe the quality of life is the highest based on responses from more than 15,000 adults across 33 countries. The rankings measure international perceptions of 85. Okay, so not every nation in the world, 85 nations. So that's quite a bit.
It's so
That's
funny. Like, which ones get left
212?
out? Like,
So,
I bet
a lot of the African countries.
Tuvalu's not in there.
Well,
A lot
Mongolia
of the
got left
African
out.
countries.
I mean,
So
look right there between Russia and China. It's. I mean, Mongolians. That's discrimination.
It's sitting there like a toad.
Rather than relying solely on economic or demographic indicators, the index reflects how countries are viewed across several factors, including affordability, job opportunities, family friendliness, political stability, and overall well-being. These places have stable institutions, high levels of trust, and strong public services that help countries such as Sweden, who scored 100%, I think we're damn near it, Denmark and Switzerland build reputations as some of the world's most desirable places to live. Now, have a look at this, Ted. How Ukraine was one of the countries asked. They scored a 0.
Well, there's a war. So, yeah.
Russia scored 17. The United States.
That's absurd. The Russia 49. Thing is really ridiculous.
Yeah, I think that's people's perception of Russia.
Yeah, they haven't been. Yeah, they don't know.
That's the thing. I don't know if the Russian people.
If you go, you're just sort of like, wait, what? Yeah.
Right. Because that's what all of my American friends who have gone or lived in Russia, they're like, oh, I love it here. But Americans, and I don't know if they asked Americans and what people thought of America. We scored a 49. So we're kind of like meh, slightly less than meh. And we are the lowest of all G7 countries. Europe,
pertinent to a topic that is near and dear to Robbie, the reason that people often want to immigrate to the U.S. is based on this sort of mythology of the streets are paved with gold. There's tons of jobs. Of course, they come here, and that's not true. I wonder if this poll is going to reflect sort of like there's probably going to be less desire to immigrate to a country that is not widely perceived as being that great to live in.
Sweden got 100. Denmark got 98. Finland and Norway got 92.
They have a good rep. Scandinavia has a good rep.
Yeah. So
Iceland
only got a 56. No way. But that's people's perception.
Yeah, and Iceland has a good rep though.
Yeah, but I think if you ask most people, they don't know much about Iceland, right?
It's because of the cold. I guarantee you that thing about the climate.
Yeah.
Japan scored better than Iceland. They got 73 versus China at a 50. I'm not sure that's really true. Thailand got 32.
What the hell?
Thailand's awesome. And a lot of Americans move to Thailand and love it.
Yeah. The UAE got 53.
Kazakhstan got a 4, which is disappointing because if I was single, I would move there.
Well, that just shows that people don't know shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. South Africa got a 9.
Yeah, that's also ridiculous. South Africa is beautiful.
New Zealand
has
74?
a vibrant economy.
South Africa does not have a vibrant economy.
Yeah, like the UAE, the quality of life. I mean, for all of the bad things I can say about it, for the most part, they have a good social safety net there. So, I mean, if you're an Emirati national.
Ecuador is a fucking disaster, but it doesn't deserve a 9.
A 9? Like this is like it's barely higher than Algeria or Cameroon.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
That doesn't sound right.
I personally, India scored a 21.
That's generous.
I think I would give like a 2, maybe a 3 on a good day.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who they're asking, but 33 adults in what countries? It doesn't like specify, but I just thought the numbers were interesting that this is the perception
Is
of
Indonesia in there? It's hard to
It
tell.
greatness.
is. Indonesia is
Right
a
there.
25.
25.
Yeah, that's. I mean, people go to Bali. That's in Indonesia. It's like, really? You think that's a 25? I don't know. I don't think
Yeah,
so.
I don't know.
Well, they think it's the whole country. That's the problem. Is that people see
And by
one
the way,
city.
Kenya as a 9 seems. Look, Kenya at 9 versus Saudi Arabia at 36. I'd pay money not to go to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Kenya is not. Come on, it's not Saudi Arabia.
France got a 56 score, only 7 points higher than the US.
That's absurd.
I don't think that's true.
I only got a
And
64.
Greece got lower than us.
Yeah, that's
36. I
absurd
don't think that's
too.
true either.
Well,
Greece is stunning.
Well, Greece, you can't get a job. I mean,
Well,
that's
that's
part of
true.
the problem. I mean, there's a reason why they are exporting their population is because their governments is like, there's no work for you here. We are going to finish the job that the Ottomans couldn't. We're going to destroy ourselves through
But
immigration.
they said this poll was not based solely on economics or demographic indicators, that they were looking at like stable institutions, high levels of trust, strong public services.
Well, come on. France, Spain, and Greece and Italy all have high levels of
public service.
services and excellent
Yeah.
social safety nets.
Do you know what I bet you it is? They're probably looking at some poster at a travel agency. Oh, that looks beautiful. I will score this high.
This is bizarre. What are they teaching the kids at Wharton, man? Well, this is what they came up with. So
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of weird survey this is, but it's a perception.
Is
That's
Wharton,
the thing.
is Wharton an Ivy League school?
UPenn
Not
is.
technically. Penn is, yeah.
Because I bet you what it is, because these are rich kids, these are rich guys, rich gals who have never wanted for a meal in their lives, about where they could go with their economic advantages. That's what this is. This is not.
No, but they surveyed in 33 countries
Well, they surveyed
about what they thought about other countries.
Yeah, but I bet you though. I mean, it wasn't a man on the street. What they're doing is they reached out to these prestigious universities and stuff. And say, hey, where would you like to go? What do you think is the best?
They're not sharing how they arrived at these numbers. But I just thought that was interesting. So we'll just leave that there. Ukraine got a 0. We got a 49. Russia got a 17. China's a 50. 50.
You've both been to Mexico. Is 23 accurate, or is that high?
No.
That's low.
That's low.
Mexico's great. Yeah.
Mexico's great. I mean, like, ignore
seriously,
the cartel shit.
If you said like, Ted, you have to live in Mexico the rest of your life, I'd be like, all right, no problem.
There's a reason.
The people
Jesse
are great.
Ventura,
it's beautiful. The people are awesome. The
food's awesome.
Amazing.
The culture's awesome. There's a reason Jesse Ventura has a compound down there.
And you know, I know they're Catholic and not Baptist, although I'm sure they're Baptists. But Robbie, you'd like the whole, like, church is really part of people's lives every day. There are many parts of Mexico where literally they don't even have doors on the churches because it's part of the community.
24/7.
24/7. People in and out of church every day.
Well,
I love Mexico.
Well, that's because it's a cultural thing. It's not actually a belief thing. So it's kind of like Catholic in name only.
Yes.
Maybe, but I think I think a lot of Mexicans really live it.
Because we know there's a family that we support, the missionaries. The guy's name is Adam Russell, and he lives on the Pacific coast of Mexico. And he talks about how if you convert from Catholicism, like it's kind of like leaving Judaism, like the family will ostracize you, you get disowned. It's pretty gnarly.
No, if you travel to Mexico, I think you would actually like it. The people are friendly. They're very religious. They're very family oriented, and they're just really nice. Mexicans in Mexico are really nice. Like on the street, like the cartel stuff is real.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's also real. It's regional though.
It's very regional. If you go just to like random whatever town, and I haven't explored deep into Mexico, but
if Mexico is so good, why are y'all coming here?
I don't get it.
They're not actually. Most people who are coming across the U.S.-Mexico border aren't Mexican.
They're not Mexican. They're just coming through Mexico. They're coming from the countries that the U.S. destabilized in the 80s.
There's even Afghans coming through there, right? I mean,
it's not the Mexicans. The Mexicans are staying in Mexico.
They're fine. The Mexicans are good. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not leaving.
Mexico's such a good friend, just shipping out their human cargo through, getting their cut.
They're just not closing. They're not keeping the people trapped in their country. That's all.
Maybe we should give Mexico some democracy and make them enforce their southern border.
Well, we already said we were going to. We said that we're going to send like fucking Navy SEALs or some shit down there to attack the cartels because
to attack
they're
Shine
terrorists.
Well, Scheinbaum's on his letting this happen.
Bomb.
I mean, listen, she's an arch Zionist. I have no problem if she had a happy accident. I mean, she's had it, she's got it coming. So if a cartel member wants
I don't know. She's got some good qualities to her. She's helped Cuba. She's told Donald Trump, screw off. I'm sending flotillas to Cuba. They're doing good stuff.
She sent one boat. Like, here, I have you.
Not one. Cubans. She sent a few. And she's basically keeping up what AMLO was doing. They're trying to nationalize some of like their mines and stuff. So, to mine for rare earths. They're doing some good stuff down there. So our country isn't doing that and giving it to the people. So, I can't hate on Claudia Sheinbaum entirely just because she's the first Jewish Mexican president.
It's wild.
That's no reason.
I know. All right, let's get on to the stories. All right. First up, I'm sure everybody heard about the news last week when this dude that showed up in the Epstein files, he's a French Arab. Ted, there's a lot of those. There's a lot of French Arabs. He turned up dead last week, but now his preliminary autopsy is in. So, but as you know, because he showed up in the Epstein files like thousands of times, this story is not going to go away quietly. So French prosecutors have released preliminary autopsy findings for Daniel Siad, the model scout whose name appeared nearly 2,000 times.
I think it's Siad, actually, right?
You think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You don't think it's Siad?
No.
Siad? I don't know. Siad. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Because it's spelled it differently.
Mm-hmm.
So they released, he was found dead last Monday, so a week ago, at his home outside Paris, while under investigation for alleged human trafficking and rape connected to Epstein's network. So he was already under investigation, and he's an alleged model scout. The autopsy so far found no signs of recent violence, which I think is a really weird way to frame it. They're like, there's signs of old violence.
He was thrown down the stairs 3 years ago, but whatever.
Like those bone fractures have healed.
Yeah.
There's no signs of recent violence.
Strange.
Odd wording. Yeah. Very odd wording. But it also did not determine an immediate cause of death. Investigators did, however, discover evidence that Siad had significant health problems, including signs of a previous heart attack that could have put him at risk of sudden cardiac death. Toxicology and additional pathology tests are still pending. So in other words, the investigation is not yet over. Siad had denied any allegations against him. French authorities placed him under surveillance as part of a sweeping investigation after multiple women accused him of helping recruit models, quote unquote models, for Epstein. Despite months of scrutiny, prosecutors said they had not gathered enough evidence to arrest him before his death. Naturally, the internet responded exactly as you'd expect. Social media immediately filled with theories ranging from another loose end tied up to this can't possibly be a coincidence. That's understandable given Epstein's own death in federal custody back in 2019 and the 2022 prison death of French modeling agent Jean-Luc Brunel, another Epstein associate. But here's what we actually know about this guy. He's a man connected with one of the biggest sex trafficking scandals in modern history. He died unexpectedly, kind of like Lindsey Graham. The autopsy so far has found no evidence of foul play, but it also hasn't identified exactly what killed him. Sometimes the facts are less satisfying than theories. The internet has rarely considered that a reason to stop theorizing, Ted. This dude is 70 years old, right? He's real close to Lindsey Graham's age. He had previous heart issues. It's not out of the question to, again, apply Occam's razor and be like, well, the dude's 70. right?
Yeah, I mean,
Heart
like,
troubles and wanna drop
honestly,
dead.
in the US, what's average life expectancy for a guy? Like 76, 77?
73,
So, I mean, like,
74, something like that.
if a guy, like so if you die at, like, 76, 77, that's just, like, average, and if
Sure.
you die at 70, you're just a little early. I mean, whatever.
I mean,
Believe
look,
me, this
I
gives me
love
no pleasure to say as I look at my 63rd birthday coming up next summer, next month, but, whatever.
a part of me, though, is it's kind of like with the Clintons, right? Like, how is it that all these people within arm's reach of the Clintons were all mysteriously dying, right? And
Unalived.
yes, dying of natural causes or unaliving themselves with a shotgun found 30 feet away from them. Whatever.
Those things could just bounce away.
When you blast yourself with your toe, I guess. I don't know. But this guy, th- they're not saying too much about the condition in which they found him in his Paris luxury apartment, right? They
Mhm.
didn't they didn't say like, "Oh, he's, surrounded in a pool of his own urine," or whatever. Nothing. They didn't say anything. They're just like, "Oh," like no one said how authorities found his body. Like, why? Why did you show up to this man's home? How like
Mhm.
how long had he been dead? How nobody's saying anything. So I think when you leave it up to speculation like that, when you don't close all the gaps, especially because the dude was an Epstein friend, the internet is going to go mad over this. And I don't know, part of me is very suspicious as well. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, he's 70. He kind of lived the life, right? Like lots of red meat, lots of wines, lots of, whatever else. The photos we've seen of him when he was alive, cigars, cigarettes, drinks, women.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know, Ted. Like, it is suspicious though, because he is an Epstein buddy, much in the way if you were a Clinton buddy, um, that you just kind of fall off the face of the earth. Don't you think this is weird after like the other model scout, Jean-Luc Brunel, a couple years ago, mysteriously dies in his
Oh,
prison cell?
it's definitely weird for sure. No question. No
This
question.
dude's under investigation. I don't know. I for because of shits and giggles, I want to lean into the whole I'm suspicious because he's slightly younger than the average male life expectancy in the West. And I feel like he had money and he would have had access to good healthcare. And especially being in France, he's going to have better healthcare than us in the States. So I don't know. I'm leaning, I think there's more to be seen. I think they're going to keep, I think the authorities are going to keep coming up with the answer of inconclusive and try to bury the story.
Could be.
I'm just saying. And like, oh, I think today's Lindsey Graham's funeral.
Oh, that explains why there's a lightness in the air. I noticed the birds were chirping and like a lot of animals were like out in the streets like dancing, and I was like, what's going on with that? And it's like,
That's
oh, okay.
yes. Yes, there's a deep dark hole that's being dug somewhere. I don't know where he's being buried. I heard today was the funeral, the services. So, I don't know if he's buried back in South Carolina or if it's here in DC. I don't know. Don't know, but BB is in town. That's why I was gonna say it's not bright and cheerful and birds are chirpy here because Satan is arriving soon here in DC for the
Yes.
services. So
Right.
I don't know if they're doing services here and then they're burying him elsewhere, but they're doing a service here. And BB is coming here, and I'm sure he's gonna make a stop. I don't know what his 10th, 8th, 9th, 10th stop at the White House. What number is it? 8? I think it might be number 8. Number 8. How many trips do you make in a year and a half with the new president, Ted?
Oh, who knows,
8
right?
stops? This isn't like number 8 to Washington
That's a good
since
question.
Trump was inaugurated.
That's a lot.
And this French Model Scout. A lot of
So, by
timing.
the way, Carly Simon has just announced that she has Parkinson's disease
Oh.
and cancer, both.
Oh. Well, that sucks. How old is Carly Simon now?
That's a good question. Let me find out.
70?
She must be in her 70s, right?
She's gotta be 70
At least,
something.
at least.
72, 73 probably?
83.
Oh, wow, she's 83?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, at that point, I hate to sound, like, cold or mean or whatever, but once you pass 80, once you've passed the
If
average
it's
life
not one
expectancy.
thing, it's another, right?
Yeah, so you're kind of like, you've had a good long life. Like, God bless you, Carly Simon. I hope you hang in there for a while. You're a gem. People love your music, but, 80 something. This guy, slightly less of that, and BB's showing up here, he says, for Lindsay's funeral, but I don't know, a lot of weird timing, Ted.
Sometimes the hottest cultural war battleground isn't a college campus. Sometimes it's your campsite. A new opinion piece in the New York Times comes from Erica Song, a former Girl Scout leader whose troop made the jump to the Boy Scouts, now known as Scouting America. I guess it went from scouting, it was Scouting BSA before that, which basically meant
What's
Scouting
BSA?
Boy Scouts of America.
Oh.
After the organization opened its program to girls in 2018. So she argues letting girls become Eagle Scouts did not ruin scouting. In her experience, it made it better. Song says 7 girls from her former Girl Scout group switched over to the boys and never looked back. She said they were drawn by outdoor adventures, leadership opportunities, and the merit badge system that defines the Boy Scouts. Supporters said that opening scouting to girls gave families more choices. Critics said that every time a traditionally male organization goes co-ed, boys lose another male-only space. Meanwhile, Girl Scouts remain girls only. So why is it that single-sex spaces are only acceptable for girls? So anyway, I got to say, I have a lot of thoughts about this piece. This piece drove me crazy. She's like, well, me and all the girls I talked to and all the moms I talked to all decided it was really good for the Boy Scouts that we be involved. And there's nary a quote from a single boy or father. Okay, so
Oh,
I'm an
yeah,
Eagle
good
Scout
point.
with Silver Palm. Okay, I was in Boy Scouts for from the entire time, from the age of 11 to 18, which is allowed. Also, my son was a Boy Scout, and I was a scouting dad when my son was a Boy Scout. So I love Scouts. And
Oh.
and I gotta say, normally I think that single sex spaces are bad. For example, all male or all female workplaces tend to be very toxic in different ways, although all female tends to be worse than all male. But all male is a little broy, but all female is terrifying and dangerous. It becomes, basically the knives are out and no one is safe, right? But in the case of scouts, right, like Boy Scouts was the last place where boys could really be boys, where boys could run around in the woods and burn things and break things and shoot things and kill things, and
Like
nothing
Lord of the
happened.
fucking Flies or
Like Lord of the fucking Flies. And it was awesome. And and so I gotta tell you, like like fuck girls in the Boy Scouts. They shouldn't be there. They weren't wanted. It was like they were they were really intrusive. I
No,
remember
wait,
one
tell me,
incident.
I don't know the difference. What I thought it was just, one group for boys, one group for girls. Do they do different things at the Boy Scouts and Girl
No, they're
Scouts?
literally in. They are literally they're in the. They're what do you mean do different things?
Like, their activities, like, they have different things going on?
No. They girls basically it's like Boy Scouts except girls now go also. And there's moms.
No.
Too.
I mean, there's Girl Scouts, right? Traditional Girl Scouts.
Yeah, but they're
with
not
the
involved
cookies
in
and
any
whatever.
of this. So Girl Scouts.
No. I'm asking the difference between the two organizations. Like, do they have different activities? Like,
Yeah.
I always assumed they were the same. It's just one
They're
was
not.
a group for girls and one was a group for boys.
No, the reason that girls often like to, so the Girl Scouts isn't as rugged. Like, it's not as physically demanding.
What
It's
do they
more
do there?
Well, it's more like cooking and going to visit old folks' homes. So when they camp, they don't go on. If they do hikes, they do shorter hikes. If they,
I
it's
see.
not as rugged. So
Okay,
for like the more tomboyish girls, like I imagine you would have been happier in Boy Scouts than Girl Scouts.
Probably.
Yeah. So like for the more, physically robust, more action oriented girls,
Okay.
I think it's great that girls have more options. More options is always great. But no one's asking the boys if they're okay with this. The only reason that the Boy Scouts did this, is not because they're nice. It's because membership rolls have been dropping off for years for both Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts, and making this move financially makes Boy Scouts Scouting USA more viable than Girl Scouts. That's all it is. They're literally poaching. They're poaching girls from the Girl Scouts. I mean, I think the answer here would have been to make Girl Scouts spicier and have it be more challenging, more modern, more reflective of the way American girls are today, which is, they're not like just wanting to sell cookies, right? So they do want to camp. They can do all the same things boys do. That's really what they should have done. But they didn't do that. So, they're like, oh, we're all inclusive, but it sucks for the boys. So like, for example, when my son and I were we went to summer camp a few years ago now, and shortly after the change, and we're walking barefoot down to the lake to take out canoes and go swimming. And we walk past this troop, which was like dominated by like female scout leaders and their female scouts. And as we're walking through, they start all yelling at us, "You can't walk barefoot here. You have to put on shoes." And all our boys were like, "Fuck you. Like, eat shit, bitch. Who the fuck are you? Like, fuck off." And they looked at, they can't talk to us like that. And us older guys were like,
the boys were literally shouting.
Yeah, at the women, and like
the girls,
and then and at the girls, and then like the female leaders are yelling at us guys, like older guys, like, you're gonna let them talk like that, and we're like, fuck you. Like we're walking barefoot. What's it to you?
What's it to you?
Like, so what if my foot is full of splinters? That's my own fucking deal, right? Like, that's not like, we're like walking barefoot. Like, we're not like, we're not like raging Epstein style here. We're just walking barefoot down to the lake to take out canoes, right? We don't want to deal with like gay ass sandals. Like, we're not doing that. It's summer.
Swim shoes.
Yeah, swim shoes. It's like, it's fucking 90 degrees. We're going down in the mud. We're hanging. And so, and it was just like a minor incident, of course, but it was actually funny because they complained about us to the scout leadership, and they brought us all in, and they were like, "Are you going to apologize?" I'm like, "Fuck you." We're all just like, "Fuck you." We just kept saying it. And they were like, "You're in court." I'm like, "You want to throw us out?" Like, I'm an Eagle Scout. Throw us out, And like, basically it was just like, and I think there's been a lot of that kind of like, you're now in our space. You want to join our party, follow our rules, follow our vibe, and leave us be. And like, but instead you're coming in and trying to change our space to you. Like, no, this is our space. Like, if girls
this is Robbie's argument about the migrants.
If girls wanted to join Scouting USA, and that includes the adult leaders, then they've got to roll man style. Otherwise, like, shut up, like, get out, go.
Well, okay. So a couple of thoughts as a girl, and you're probably right.
If I were joining Girl Scouts, I wouldn't be telling them how to bake cookies or how to talk to the old people.
Be like, let's not bake cookies, right? Like, or not, let's not sell cookies this year. Let's sell fucking monster
Take off your sandals, walk barefoot. No, I'd leave them alone.
Like, you do as they
do.
You do,
right?
Yeah. Like, you do as they do. Like, the group is already there. So I thought they allowed girls in. I thought maybe there was a lawsuit or something, and this came after all of the sexual allegations stuff in the Boy Scouts. I
Yeah,
mean,
there were
I could be
tons of
wrong.
those. No, there were tons
So
of
there were
those.
those. So I thought maybe
We had to
after
take, we had to
caved.
kind of like, we had to take like us adults, we all had to take these videos of like, if you notice any grooming, like report it to the leadership and stuff like that. Yeah. What is
So
grooming?
I thought the girls were allowed in after the fallout from that because
It
of
had nothing.
all of
That's what they claimed, but it
Oh.
had nothing to do with that. It's about the money.
Oh.
It's always about the money.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
the lawsuit was about having sodomite scout leaders
Pervy
and
scout leaders.
And they got, and
members or
they had to
whatever?
pay a lot of money.
yeah, and they started molesting. Basically, it's kind of the Catholic Church letting their queer priests in, start molesting little boys. That's what that was. And the whole girl thing is just them trying to fix their PR. Like Thomas, he was a Boy Scout for about all of 6 months before I pulled him out because it was so wussified and so pussified.
Oh,
We were going to
interesting.
go shooting.
Oh, we went shooting.
Yeah, keep in mind this is Montana. Well, we had the moms involved. Like, no, that's just simply too violent. And to quote Ted,
Oh.
my response was "fuck you." In which case, I was asked to leave because I was a masochist, or not masochist, a misogynist. Misogynist, right? That's the word,
Yeah,
misogynist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a masochist. I don't like pain, but I do. But yeah, no, just
Well, look, but there's a part of me as a girl that's kind of like, I get why they're trying to be feminist and be like, we can do that too, so let us join. I get that, but because I do believe that there should be spaces just like you guys, Ted, when you big 6'3" big ass men decide to grow your freaking hair out and put on lipstick and then come to our gyms and our locker rooms and join our Pilates
I can't even
classes.
imagine having the nerve to do something like that. Really.
Like the GameStop ma'am, right? I mean, the GameStop ma'am is about 6'3" and put on pink lipstick and a pink hoodie and was like, "It's ma'am." And you're like, "Oh,
No, I
okay,
mean,
sorry, ma'am."
honestly, I can't
You
look.
guys do that to us.
Just so you know, I mean, my attitude is sort of like, I don't want to scare women. Like in New York City, if I'm like walking at night, this happened a bunch of times. I walk fast because I'm tall, right? So I have long legs,
Long strides,
and
yeah.
I walk fast anyway. Anyway, so if I'm walking on the sidewalk on a quiet street, and I can tell I'm going to come up behind a woman who's walking her dog or just walking slowly, I literally will cross the street, go to the other side, and then go around her so as not to come up behind her and startle her or have her be concerned that she's about to be attacked in the streets of New York City. I mean, and that's what, frankly, any decent guy should do.
Well, you could just go and clear your throat as you're
I don't want, even
approaching.
so, that's a little scary it's a little scary. Like, I don't think, I think guys should have to be conscious of the reality that like women are disproportionately victims of sexual violence, and we need to be respectful.
Yeah.
So you don't go into the fucking you don't go into the fucking ladies' room. I mean, Jesus
No, but
Christ.
these
I mean, I will go
these
into the
are-
ladies' room if it's a oneer and there's no one in there, and there's
like
the
a
guys' room is
solo.
occupied for a long time, and I can like lock that door. I will do that.
Well, look, I'll say at concerts when I used to go to them, the ladies' bathroom always had a fucking line
Yeah, it's a
around
shit
the
show.
stadium, right? And the men's where I'm like,
in New York, Broadway shows are notorious for that during intermission, where the men's room like processes through quickly,
yeah,
and the ladies' room takes forever.
I have
So I
gone in
think
and
there's
been
a
like,
lot of
"Sorry,
Broadway
lady
theaters
coming,
where they
emergency, sorry." I'm eyes down. I'm like, "Sorry," and I warn before I walk in, but no one's ever called security on me, right? I have been in the ladies' room where a man has done that, and women are freaking out, like
don't do that.
freaking
Don't
out.
do that.
And the guy wasn't doing anything. Like he needed to go. Like he had a butt emergency.
No.
And I could hear him blasting ass, and women were all talking about it. And we were like, "Oh my God, there's a man in here and he's taking a shit. Oh my God."
That's wrong. He should have waited. He should have waited.
No, I mean, he had an emergency.
Unless he yelled in there and said, "Ladies, I'm so fucking sorry, but I'm going to shit my pants if I don't."
And he was like, I'm sorry, I have an emergency.
Sorry.
He did that, and the
Oh,
women,
okay.
I could hear the women all like gaggle of women going, but
Yeah.
I'm like, and I'm washing my hands. I'm like, I'm getting out of here because that guy's blasting ass in the stall right there.
Yeah, you don't want
But
to be around.
I could tell these women were about ready to call security on him.
Sure, sure.
Whereas I've had to do that and gone to the men's bathroom, and no man flinched.
No, again, well, why would we? Right? I mean, we
But
might
so
be a
with
little bit annoyed, but like we're not going to be
yeah, no one
scared.
said anything to me. So I was
No,
like,
we'll
I'm
be. Si-
sorry, I'm sorry. I came out and it's like,
Oh, so of course look,
sorry.
you used to be a club girl. Like in the clubbing days, like whether or not the bathrooms were either just not assigned by sex, so everything was just open, unisex, or it was just de facto that way because it was like,
Yeah,
who
no
cares?
one cared.
And you
No
walked in
one
and
cared.
people like, you'd be there. There's like ladies at the mirror and guys pissing next
Yeah,
to them. And
no one
it kind
cared.
of doesn't matter if that's the culture.
Right. But in this case, women invading, or girls, I should say, girls invading a boy's space where I
Well,
think
I'll tell you,
right
the
now is,
moms, the scout moms are worse than the girls.
oh,
Okay.
I bet. But here's my thing
The
as
girls are okay. The
here's the
girls are just
thing.
going to go with whatever, but the moms are a pain in the ass.
Oh, well, as a mom now of a boy and a girl, I would say that I think now more than ever, it's very important for boys to have their own spaces because
Yeah, because of the boy
we have
problem, the girl
propagated
problem.
girls up so high and pushed girls are kicking ass in college, girls are coming out and but
Men are in
boys are
deep
falling
trouble.
behind.
Yeah,
Boys are falling
men
behind.
commit
Boys are
suicide at much higher
suicide, yep,
rates. Like we're
unemployment, they don't know how to make
drugs.
friends, they don't
Yeah.
know how to date, they don't know how to boys need some sort of revival of male institutions at this point,
Yeah. Let me tell
like,
you. Also, I
really
was
badly.
like a lot of boys. I had no father at home, so I was where was I going to learn like
Mm,
traditionally masculine shit like shooting a gun? That is where I learned to shoot. Was in Boy
mm.
Scouts. I learned how to
Making a
scale.
fire.
Learned how to scale a fish, make a fire, pitch a tent,
My
go
grandma
on
taught me
long
that, Ted.
hikes, go on things that are hard and arduous and
Yeah.
physically taxing, and like basically
Boys need that.
we
Boys
it's
need
in the
that.
same way that girls need it. Yeah. Mhm.
Like, and in different ways. They're expressed differently
Not
based
all the
on your sex.
time. Not like
No,
all the time, but like,
no, but
you're
you have to
talking about
have
like a
those
couple
moments.
of weeks a year, right? Like,
Yeah, you need to have those moments, and I think right now we're having a boy
but I
crisis.
fucking can't stand that. Like, like really. If I were the editor at the New York Times, I would have been like, Erica, did you interview any dudes at all?
Yeah, that's
Like it
true.
would have been fine if she said, "Oh, I talked to this guy and this guy and this guy, and
Or
they
any
all
little
thought it,
boy.
and they all thought it was great. They loved having us." Okay, fine, but you didn't even
But she didn't
talk.
talk to any
You
boys.
didn't talk to anyone. Of course, I love your like literally like the piece was kind of like, oh, how admitting girls helped the Boy Scouts. No, how admitting girls to the Boy Scouts, how the Boy Scouts admitting you helped you. Okay,
Right,
that's fine. But like,
right. The framing of the story.
what a pile of
Y
shit.
and we'll move on, Ted, but you wanna hear the funny story about why my parents didn't let me join Scouts?
They thought you'd beat up all the boys and they'd be sad.
No. No, although I did stick up, Danny and Joseph with, a butterfly knife for harassing me and my best friend. But that's on the block,
You
man.
were like, I
I was
cut
the
you.
queen bee.
I cut you,
Yeah, I
bitch.
was like because they were harassing me and my bestie. Um, we're playing Barbies on
Well,
the front
you
yard,
get what you
and they
get,
came
and
and
you
harassed us.
get what you get, and you do get upset.
So, okay, so I didn't get to join Scouts because my parents, or my dad rather, my dad, being the fobs that they were, right, were convinced my dad was convinced that the Scouts were a prelude to the US Army.
Well,
So
that's kind of somewhat true.
he was convinced.
It's a militaristic
Right.
organization.
So he was convinced that this is where they do brainwashing of little children to make you too nationalistic, and then you wanna join the military and, like, basically thus a suicide cult, and so he didn't want me to be brainwashed. So
Frankly,
he
that's
never let
not
me join Scouts.
unreasonable.
For the same reason he didn't let me watch like Disney movies, which I would sneak over to Tina's house, my best friend, and watch all the she had all of the VHSs. And I watched all of them anyway. But he didn't let me watch like Disney princess movies for the same reason, because he told me, I can't expect a prince to come save me. Right? He didn't want me to learn that. And then he didn't want me to go in the scouts because he was convinced it was like a paramilitary junior training type.
Yeah. I like your dad. I like his style.
So, God rest his soul. He's 20 years this July 6th. 20 years.
You must miss him terribly.
Oh, of course. Every freaking, not a day goes by that I don't think about him. But I think back about the funny life lessons he taught me as a kid, and looking back now as a parent myself, I'm like, was he so off about the Disney movies? Because I used to, as a kid, I was like, this sucks. I don't have like a Cinderella.
Disney movies are toxic.
I know, but now I understand it. But back then, as a kid, I was like, this sucks.
Yeah, you're being left out. Yeah.
Mean fobs. Like everyone else has the Cinderella movie. I don't have Cinderella.
Dad.
Now I'm like, Dad. Dad. But now I'm kind of like, well, thank you, Dad, because you made me a strong ass girl, and I'm not afraid to stand up for myself, because I never expected a prince to come rescue me or make a fucking fire for me or scale a fish for me or climb a mountain for me. I can do all that shit myself. And I didn't even have the scouts to do it. But
all right, we got 4 minutes. We got to race through these.
All right. So here's something I like. Ted, as a mom of little ones,
Me too.
Cursive. Cursive is back. Not cursing. Cursing has never been out. Cursive.
Yeah. Fuck anyone who says different.
That's right. Remember when your elementary school teacher insisted you'd use cursive every day as an adult? Turns out she may finally be getting the last laugh. After years of treating cursive like an ancient language spoken only by grandparents and historians, schools across the country are bringing handwriting back. More than half of U.S. states now require some form of cursive instruction, reversing a trend that began when keyboards and touch screens convinced us we'd never need to write anything longer than a text message. It's remarkable comeback. It's a remarkable comeback for something many assumed had gone the way of cassette tapes and calling people without texting first. Supporters say cursive isn't just about pretty penmanship. Research suggests handwriting engages the brain differently than typing, improving memory, reading comprehension, and fine motor skills. It also gives students the ability to read historical documents without feeling like they've stumbled onto the Da Vinci Code. There's another practical benefit. Without cursive, the Declaration of Independence starts looking less like the nation's founding document and more like your doctor's prescription. Of course, not everyone is convinced. Critics argue that classroom time is limited, and students are better served learning coding, digital literacy, or financial skills than mastering loops and flourishes they'll rarely use in everyday life. They're not entirely wrong. Most of us aren't sending handwritten letters anymore. We're firing off emails, texts, Slack messages, and occasionally the strongly worded comment we'll probably regret a few minutes later, or tweet. Still, cursive may be one of those old-fashioned skills worth preserving simply because it connects us to the people who came before us. It's hard to appreciate history if you can't read it. If your signature is the only thing you can still write in cursive, congratulations. You're already more qualified than half the middle school classrooms out there. And somewhere, Mrs. Henderson is smiling with a red pen in hand. I used to pride myself, Ted, on having really nice penmanship in middle school, like really, really pretty handwriting. And I could still do that if I took my time. Robbie says he can't write cursive if I took my time. But let's be real, Ted. You and I, journalists, it's fucking chicken scratch that only we can read. So, when the Biden administration comes knocking on your door asking you to reveal your sources, they'll steal your notes and can't read your notes. That's why my cursive now looks like that. It's chicken scratch. But I do agree with this article. I think it's great. It engages different parts of your brain, and it locks things into memory. And I think it also teaches you if you want nice penmanship. It also teaches you to slow the fuck down, and you actually have to think about what you're writing. Rather than powering through on a keyboard, you're just firing off, you're banging away and like firing off an angry text or message or whatever. Versus with cursive, you're actually forced to think it out. Those milliseconds that you're putting pen to paper, it really does help you decompress. It helps you cool down before you actually send something out. And so that's why it's so nice, Ted, when you see wedding invitations or whatever, and they're done in in handwriting. It's for a reason. It's considered not only a novelty, but that these people took the time to invite you, by hand. And it's a really nice thing. I think it's not only a nice gesture, but I think it's really good for the brain. And I'm glad to see that they're bringing it back.
Unfortunately, every time they mention these kind of stories, they fail to mention the most important advantage of cursive, which is if you are writing something by hand, which is going to come up like, grocery lists, or let's just say you want to write something fast. Cursives is fast. Okay. All you need is a pen and a paper. You don't need power. You don't need great light. But the point is, it's faster than printing things, much faster. That's why cursive was developed, so that you could handwrite quickly. I don't know why they don't talk about that. Like, oh, it just like helps your brain or whatever. Lots of things, Scrabble helps your brain, but we don't teach it in college, in high school. But like,
the pen never leaves the paper.
Not to mention these days, like, look, if you were to, and I've been thinking about doing this, if you were to like write a book, in longhand, and like the way Obama wrote at least his first book in longhand.
What?
He did. You could then
That's nuts.
You could scan the whole fucking thing into AI and transcribe it automatically. And so therefore the transcription issue would be solved.
Yeah, I just think not only the brain thing, like I said, it is. I jot things down every day. I write by hand. Like I use a real day planner every day.
Okay,
and it's all in cursive. Good
and
for
I'm
you.
always writing notes all over the place. Hey, we have a donation from Manchild. Thanks so much for the $1.
Oh.
Hey, Ted, don't forget the variety of kitty fiddling scandals that have plagued the Boy Scouts for years. Time for a rebrand. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit. Thanks very much for that donation. We have one more story we should get to.
Yeah, one last story.
So it's ice cream headache season. When something cold hits the roof of your mouth, the blood vessels there can shrink quickly and trigger nearby nerves. This is what causes brain freeze, that feeling that something has been stuck right into your forehead. That sends a pain signal through the trigeminal nerve originating in the brainstem, which is why the ache shows up in your forehead, even though the cold drink or food only touches your mouth. People who get migraines seem especially prone to intense brain freeze, since they tend to have a more reactive trigeminal nerve. And kids get it more often than adults, probably because they haven't learned yet to eat and drink more slowly to avoid it. So some of us are more likely to experience brain freeze than other people, and may need to particularly pay close attention to eating ice cream slowly in order to avoid the pain. If the headache still sets in, press your tongue against the roof of your mouth to warm it up. I did not know that. The pain should then pass pretty quickly.
I don't think I've ever had brain freeze. You get them?
Oh yeah, 100%. I don't get migraines, but like, yeah, I
don't get migraines either, but yeah. I hardly ever get headaches. Like once every couple of years.
My experience has been that my friends who experience migraines are seriously super geniuses, and I'm always like, I must not be that smart. That's why I don't get
Me
migraines.
too. I'm like, I don't get brain freeze.
You ever notice that? Like, no one stupid gets migraines. Have you noticed that?
I don't know. I never thought about it.
Do you have any dumbass friends who get migraines? I don't think so.
No, I have dumbass friends, but I don't remember them having migraines.
Yeah, that's my point.
But I have a couple dumb friends, but most of my friends are pretty smart. But then with me, I never get headaches I never get brain freeze. So I'm starting to question my own level of intelligence. But Ted, I'm a slow eater in general. Like, I don't care if it's ice cream. So if speed has something to do with it, then that's probably why I don't get it, I guess,
Oh
because
yeah,
I'm
I'm a very like gobble it down kind of
Oh,
person.
you are? No.
Yeah,
I'm
like
a
if I
slow
don't eat
eater,
it,
slow
some animal
drinker.
might get snatched out of my mouth.
Oh
I
my
gotta
god.
get it
I don't.
down. Yeah.
So, but then I started thinking, "Oh, is that what happened to Joe Biden's brain?"
You froze it
Because he's
permanently.
always
Well,
permanently
I
eating
mean,
ice cream?
he
Like,
was certainly
he has a
smart.
permanent brain
He was
freeze?
the man was never a genius, okay? But he was competent, in the 80s and 90s.
Normal, competent, yes, I
Yeah,
guess.
by Washington standards, which is a low
Yeah.
bar. Yeah,
Look, if people think we pick on Joe Biden a lot, it is a known thing. It is a known thing. Joe Biden loves an ice cream cone. Like,
that's
it's a
true.
Washington it's a trope for a reason. Joe Biden loves him an ice cream cone. Every chance he can get an ice cream cone, he's photographed all around the
That's
world
true.
eating ice cream
Mhm.
cones.
That's totally
It
true.
it it, it is a thing. And so I got to wonder if he gets migraines and if he gets they say it's like a pickaxe in the front of your head, right? Just for a moment.
Mhm.
I've never had it, so I don't know. I've tried to slurp down, like, Slurpees from 7-Eleven before just to
Mm,
see if I can get it, and I don't think I ever got one, so I'm like,
mm.
I don't know if I don't my trigeminal nerve is messed up. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know.
gotta blame gotta blame old trigeminal.
I gotta look into that. I should worry. Maybe there's, like, nerve damage.
Yeah,
I'm also, like, a hypochondriac, so, I read this and I was like, "Oh, shit, do I have a trigeminal nerve problem? Should I look into that? Can
sounds
acupuncture
like
heal
it.
it?"
Mhm.
Anyway, go enjoy ice cream because, we're in the dog days of summer now and ice cream sounds good. Root beer float. I'm gonna go have a root beer float maybe later.
Root beer
I
floats
have
are
the stuff.
so good for you.
So it's summer. It's yum. Can't eat a
Yeah,
salad, so I'm gonna
no,
eat a root beer float.
yeah, gotta.
Happy Monday, guys. We'll see you back here mañana. Adios from the team. And last
Bye.
words, Ted? Bye.
Oh, Q&A
Oh,
Q&A show coming up at 12 noon in an hour on Deprogram.
deprogram. Adios, friends. See you Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.